I mean, look, we trade very heavily on our 52-year history, which I'm very proud of, and it's always had a couple of common denominators, which is that it's been disruptive, it's been renegade, it's challenged, the status quo, and we still continue to do that. And so in that way, we've kept the best of our tradition and our heritage, but you can't be a nostalgic brand your whole life. You have to become current and you have to become relevant, and that's my challenge, right? Is what does that mean in a world? So, in the broadcast world, we were the first to launch a high-definition channel. We were the first to launch 3D channels at the height of the irrational exuberance around 3D. We were one of the first to start shooting 4K, and we have 4K channels. And, of course, with blockchain and cryptocurrencies, we want to embrace that because that's a world that I believe has a future, and that's a group of people I want to message to. So it's really about kind of just watching culture and understanding where it's moving and how it's moving, and trying to be there, be on that path.
I know, what made you want to venture into the cryptocurrency space anyway?
Well, I have a broadcast partner out of Canada, Stuart Duncan, who is one of the geniuses behind Vice Token. And I didn't understand, blockchain at all. When you said if you said blockchain cryptocurrency, I did what most people do, which is, Bitcoin. Well, no, it's a lot broader than that. But Stuart called me and he said, I got this idea, and I've got some great partners, and this is how it works. And when he explained how it worked, that we'll incentivize you for watching free content. We're going to take the idea of free content and move it a step forward. And then once we've incentivized you and we've paid you to watch free content, this is what you can do with the coin that you make. I thought it was so genius. And by the way, I took it so seriously coming from Stuart, because I've worked with him as he's represented our channels in Canada. I've worked with him for 9 years, I think, and he's always been this guy who understood not just the technology he was engaged in, which was broadcast at the time, but also kind of he could see things from a higher level and a broader level. And I was a bit in awe of that. So when he came to me and said, this is where I see it going and this is how I see it, it was just, of course you do. Like, of course you're the guy that's there. And of course you are the guy that's got the vision. I think I always, I'm not arrogant. I pretty much downplay that stuff most of the time. But I do believe that I have a certain amount of vision. But I also bow to the fact that Stuart Duncan has a broader vision. I mean, he really does. And so I listen. When he says something, I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention. And what I particularly liked about it was not just the elegance of the concept and the elegance of applying a utility token or a cryptocurrency to something that we know people do and would love to do if they were also incentivized. But it was also the fact that was a demographic that I was interested in, because that's a 22-year-old demographic and a 23, I'm not going to say it's just 22 and 23, but I mean, that's the world that lives in the blockchain space, and that's a world I want to talk to. So if I can message to them, that's just one more tribe, one more universe, or a little galaxy that I want to go into and say, hey, we're Penthouse. What can we do? What can we do together?
When is Vice Token available, Kelly?
They had their pre-sale, which was, I think, just closed on the 20th, and today's the 23rd. Now you can go to, I think it's vicetoken.com. There's a white paper that talks about Vice Token and how it works. You can buy it. I think you buy it with, I know for sure, you can buy it with a different kind of token called Ether from the Ethereum blockchain. So it's available. You can buy it. And I think the platform launches, I want to say, what month are we in? March? I believe it launches in May, but don't hold me to that.
Okay, very dope. Are there other new technologies such as augmented or virtual reality that Penthouse is adopting?
Yeah, we shot a little bit of stuff in VR, and unlike 3D, we had worked for 2 years prior to 3D channels being launched, and I'm talking about prior to B-Sky B or ESPN or anybody launching 3D. We had started working in a partnership with Panasonic, a quiet partnership, because when you work with us, sometimes as a large company, you tend to want to be quiet about it, so you don't get a bunch of pushback from your shareholders. But we've been working in it for 2 years, and then we launched it right at a moment where it was just this height of irrational exuberance, shortly after Avatar came out. And that was easy for us to do because we were already in the broadcast space. We have 10 channels around the world. We're the largest broadcaster in the adult space. We're everywhere from Latin America to Canada to Israel to Africa to Germany to Spain. Pick the place, we're there. And so it was easy to launch a 3D channel into our broadcast package. VR is a little different. You can't launch it into a broadcast space. You have to do something else with it. You have to launch it into a digital space. And one of the problems, we shot, and I think what we shot was great. A lot of what's being shot in my industry is what I would just call point of view, right? It's like, guy's laying on a bed, you see his nasty feet, girl comes in the door, you're kind of looking her up and down, you look to the left, there's a wall with a window, you look to the right, there's another wall, you look up, there's a ceiling, you look behind you, there's a wall behind you. Not very interesting. I mean, all you're doing is looking up and down this girl's body. That tends to be the standard application of VR in our world because it's easy to shoot, translated, it's cheap to shoot. But that's not a very good experience. Sometimes in all technologies, people get so hung up in the technology that they forget the purpose of what they're there for, which is to do something creative. So when we shot VR, we brought 18 girls to a pool, and we shot a pool party. And it was a full day, and it was 18 shrieking girls, and it was really, got on my last nerve. But it was great because they were all doing different things. So no matter where you turned, there were things happening, and then you got to choose where you wanted to sit and where you wanted to stay. Like, did you like that girl in the polka dot bikini, or did you like this girl in the red bikini? So it gave you lots to look at. We are at a point with VR and augmented reality as well where there's still a whole shakeout on what are the glasses going to look like, what are the goggles going to look like, how are you going to broadcast it, where are you going to broadcast it. And I'm waiting for all of that to shake out a little bit before we get deeply committed into it. But there's another thing, too. I think the best application of VR is when it incorporates haptics, which is toys, for lack of a better term. If I can make it a deeper environment, so it's not just looking at something, because frankly, VR can also make you dizzy. If you get really, like, if you do have things going on everywhere, if it's like Cirque du Soleil, where you're looking at things above you and you're looking at things to the right, to the left, behind you, in front of you, you literally get dizzy.
Sensory overload.
And you'll just get sick after a while. What I want to do is incorporate with our toy manufacturer certain toys that work in coordination with what you're viewing, and then its highest and best form, I'm trying to just be cool about what I say on the air, our highest and best use of this product, if you can imagine it, is you're stationed in, pick it, Iraq, and your girl is in San Diego, and the two of you Skype together, and you in Iraq have a toy that is on you, and she has a toy that is in her, and you're controlling hers, and she's controlling yours, and you can basically it's to have virtual sex.
Okay.
And that's the most perfect use I can think of. We're not quite, I mean, it's weird. All the technology is there to do that. We just haven't married it all together. And that's, to me, where it needs to go. Of course, there's a danger, as there always is in any new technology, which is that we all become these chubby little blobs, like the ones in WALL-E, right, where we just sit in chairs and experience the world virtually, and we never get up and do anything. So that is, to some extent, one of the dangers. But I think it also has the ability to bring some interesting sensory experiences together between people that are miles apart. And that may be someone you have a relationship with, and it may be a cam girl on the other side of the planet. I love cam girls. I mean, I love that technology, and I love that cam girls are that is the business sector that's making money in the adult industry right now. And that is because, when I said I love to just sit around and think about where are we, what are we doing, what's happening in the culture and the pop culture. Well, you have to go back and look at Facebook. Like, what was happening? Like, what caused Facebook to be Facebook? And to now 1 in 4 people on the planet are members of Facebook. Wow. I think people, it used to be that we grew up, we went to school, we married, we lived, and we died in roughly a 50-mile radius. Our families were there, our friends were there. We weren't moving to the other side of the country or the other side of the planet. Well, that was 4 or 5 generations ago. That doesn't happen now. Now everybody moves away from home. So we are disconnected from our families. We're disconnected from our friends. We watch CNN, and we see 3 billion people on the planet, and we are reminded constantly that we're just one little ant on that planet of 3 billion. And we have lost, and I use this word a lot, tribe. We've lost our tribe, and we're kind of one tiny person in a boat in this just sea of humanity out there. So Facebook allows us to feel like we recaptured our family and our tribe. And we log on at night, and we take pictures of our food, and we share it with people who could care less. But we feel it's important that you know that I had this great pasta tonight, right? You don't care, but it's important for me to think you do. And they share with you their picture of their cat, and you're like, oh, cute cat. And we feel like we've got all these friends out there that are close. So it gives us a sense of having this community and this tribe and this close-knit group of friends. The truth of it is, if you had a flat tire on the corner of Pico and La Brea at 3 o'clock in the morning, you'd be hard-pressed to get any one of those people on your Facebook page to come down and help you out. But it gives us a sense of community and a sense of tribe. So now you have cam girls. What do cam girls do? Cam girls are girls flung all over the world, from Okinawa to Ottawa to Ohio to, pick it. They're all over the world. But you're somebody who maybe is not in a relationship at any given moment in your life. You don't want to be in a relationship. You're not comfortable in a relationship. But you still would like to have somebody that you could roll over and whisper to at 3 o'clock in the morning. And instead, you get up and you open up, or maybe you don't get up, maybe your laptop's right next to you on the bed, and you flip it open, and you start talking to Stephanie in Romania, and you've talked to her before, and she knows you, and she asks you how you're doing, and you, chit-chat with her for a minute, and then she does a little strip, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you do what you have to do, and then you tell Stephanie good night, and you go roll over and go back to sleep. It's relationship that is a safe relationship in a way, because she's not going to be there in the morning, giving you a hard time about something. She goes away when you close your computer. Now, I'm not suggesting that Stephanie replaces a relationship. But for some people who just can't have one,